Hello everyone! Tonight we're going to continue discussing chapters 95 and 96 of the comic. So let's get right into it and dive into the story. Killian and Michael quickly rushed to catch up with Edith. Meanwhile, Layla led her friends toward the fountain in the garden. Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she saw the envoy from the Hamid Kingdom kneeling on one knee before Edith. The opportunity to bring Edith down had finally arrived. Layla wanted to humiliate her in front of everyone and prove that Edith was nothing more than a seductress. However, when she overheard their conversation, her hopes were shattered. This wasn't a scandalous affair. Instead, the man was talking about the long-lost heir of the Hamid Kingdom. He wanted to confirm whether Henry, Edith's knight, was the long-lost older brother they had been searching for. Standing not far away, Henry looked furious at the claim. He had suffered since childhood, sold to a pirate ship at the age of 12, survived in a harsh world, and eventually became a noble knight. Now, after all this time, he was finally found, and he feared being discarded as a potential threat to the throne. Henry firmly declared that he had no interest in the throne or succession rights. All he wanted was to live peacefully as a noble knight here. However, the envoy refused to give up. The disappearance of the Hamid prince during the festival had left his aunt weeping through the night every year. He couldn't just return empty-handed. From a distance, Layla started feeling confused. She didn't fully understand their conversation, but one thing was clear. The man had no romantic interest in Edith. Her entire plan to disgrace Edith fell apart instantly. Edith noticed Layla, and soon all eyes turned to her. The envoy from Hamed recognized Layla as the woman who had previously helped him meet Edith. Layla was furious and frustrated. Why did all her efforts always go to waste? Why did Edith always get everything? Overcome with emotions, Layla recklessly tried to push Edith into the fountain. But before she could do so, Killian swiftly pulled Edith into his arms. As a result, Layla lost her balance and fell into the fountain instead. Layla had struggled all this time. When she thought she had lost everything, she desperately reached for the smallest opportunity. But somehow, the result was always the same. Edith remained standing tall, while she fell deeper into despair. Killian was unsurprised by what had happened. He asked Layla if this was her plan, to frame Edith. At first, he had no interest in interfering in this matter, believing it to be a personal issue between Edith's knight and others. However, seeing Layla, who was known for her bad reputation, resort to such desperate actions at an official event made Killian feel truly disappointed. The situation calmed down after Princess Catherine intervened. Layla was immediately detained for questioning, despite Damien's attempt to stop it. Meanwhile, Henry, the Hamid Kingdom's lost prince, was impressed by how Princess Catherine handled the situation. He began considering returning to the Hamid Kingdom. Edith supported his decision. She felt relieved and happy to see Henry finally reunited with his family. After the incident, the award ceremony began. Edith was granted special authority to serve the imperial family from the closest position. Only direct imperial descendants could command her to bow. The atmosphere was filled with excitement as the guests enthusiastically welcomed the ceremony. On the way home, inside the carriage, Edith was deep in thought. Sitting across from her, Killian noticed her worried expression. It turned out Edith was concerned about Layla's fate. Even though Layla had done wrong, Edith felt she didn't deserve a harsh punishment. Killian tried to reassure her, explaining that Layla likely wouldn't face severe consequences since the incident involved an important foreign guest and had ended on a positive note. However, Layla would likely struggle to regain her previous social standing. Edith started to worry. Layla's fate was never this bad in the original story. The same went for Henry, who was never even mentioned by the original author. Everything had changed so drastically, far beyond what she had imagined. A deep fear crept into her heart. Had all of this happened because she entered this world and altered the story's course? Killian seemed to sense Edith's concerns. To him, there was no point in blaming herself for the changes that had occurred. Everyone was simply trying to live their lives freely. If some people used that freedom for evil, then they had to bear the consequences themselves. Meanwhile, at the western border of the empire, the Ludwig family's night headquarters was filled with a warm dinner atmosphere. However, in one corner, Cliff sat silently, staring at his food without appetite. For days, the Knight Commander had noticed his strange behavior. As the rain poured down, Cliff walked alone into the forest. His heart was filled with disappointment and despair. His relationship with Lise had fallen apart, and everything was in ruins because of his own recklessness. When he thought he had removed all obstacles and gained everything, it all slipped from his grasp in an instant, disappearing without a trace. He couldn't accept the reality that he might never see Lise again. Before him, a system notification appeared. Freedom of the world has been achieved. Character. Departure may proceed. Cliff's eyes widened. If there was still a way, then he would find Lise, even if it meant searching for her at the ends of hell. Elsewhere, at the Ludwig residence, the Duke received news of Cliff's disappearance. He remained silent for a long time before letting out a heavy sigh. Perhaps he had raised his children the wrong way all along. That night, he summoned Killian to his office. The Duke apologized, and, more than that, he asked Killian to take over as the family's heir.
All right, that's the discussion for this episode. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to this channel. If you have corrections or other opinions, feel free to share them in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.